like your father coming back home with the milk, your boy is back once again with another edition of Liverpool Latest. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day so far. A lot has happened since I've last uploaded. Obviously, me living in the grand old US of A, I was celebrating Thanksgiving, eating a shit ton of food. But just because I was away does not mean I was not paying attention. Before I get into the main components of today's video, I will say the loss to PSV was very pitiful. If they had sacked Arne Slot the next day, it would not have come as a shock to me, or I'd say a majority of the fan base. That said, thankfully, cooler heads kind of prevailed. Some meetings took place behind the scenes, and Liverpool come out today with an absolutely much-needed win against West Ham in a 2-0 clean sheet victory away from Anfield. And I gotta be honest with you guys, I was thankful to be able to watch the whole game, and while I was at my full-time daytime job, and let me tell you, I was nervous. I looked on edge the entire time. I could feel it in my face. I could feel it in my body. I was just tense because I knew if this game was a loss, the entire season was going down the shitter. Thankfully, Isak and Cody Gakpo came in clutch for us each with their own goals. Isak having a couple of good chances today as well. Looked a little bit off at times on the pitch, but he did have some very good chances, one of which was saved, which I still can't get over that save. That was phenomenal by the West Ham keeper. But Gakpo, on the other hand, up until that goal, I was a little bit scared. He was kind of making a lot of mistakes, and I'm watching him play, and I'm saying to myself, God, what is he doing? He just looks out of place all the time. And lo and behold, 90th minute +2, puts a goal in and solidifies our victory, which I couldn't have asked for a better result. So we often ask ourselves, why does Arne Slot keep putting Gakpo in the starting 11 and keeping him in games where at times it feels like he should be subbed off? I guess this is one of those days where we all have to eat crow, because that's exactly what I feel like. I was thinking the exact same thing everybody else was thinking. I wasn't online to tweet about it or post about it, but I was thinking it as I was watching the game. Thankfully, he proved all of us wrong, and I can give him his flowers for today. Same thing I can say for Joe Gomez, man. Joe Gomez got the start today, and let me tell you, with the difficulties he has had in his career and not being able to play much this season for whatever reason that we have no idea about, Joe Gomez did a phenomenal job today. I hoped so bad that he would score a goal, but unfortunately, once again, it was not meant to be. And I swear, I want him to score one goal before he either leaves Liverpool or retires, because the day that happens, pandemonium will be in the stands. And I think anybody could be happy to see Joe Gomez score a goal, whether you're on whether you're part of the Liverpool fandom or whether you're part of the opposing team's fandom. That would just be a phenomenal thing to watch from all sides. But that's just my personal take. Wirtz did a great job. He set up quite a few good opportunities. Man got man of the match, rightfully so, in my opinion. And I can't say enough good things about him this game. He clearly was one of the guys that was taking it to the attack when we had possession. And unfortunately, a lot of his opportunities that he was trying to give to our strikers were not connecting the way we would have hoped. But that doesn't mean that the chances were not being set up. And Wirtz did a phenomenal job of trying to do that all game. Easily one of his best performances of the season by far. Without a shadow of a doubt, in my opinion. Kirkez had a good game in his own right, held it down on his end of the defense, and I can't say enough good things about him as well. He deserves his flowers today. Mo Salah sat on the bench, something I never thought I'd say this season. I actually thought they would never do it, but it turns out they decided to give him a much needed break. And frankly, against a team like West Ham, I don't want to risk Mo getting injured, potentially facing an absolute dog shit club like them. So I'm okay with him sitting on the bench today. I wouldn't even mind him sitting on the bench the rest of the week, as I'll get into very shortly. Before I talk about our upcoming schedule, because we have an absolutely brutal schedule this week. Lucas Paqueta, man. What the fuck were you thinking today? Okay? I have never seen a level of stupidity like that on the field in quite some time. This man argued a yellow card, blatant yellow card, argued that call for like 5 minutes straight with the referee. And even when his teammates and our own team was pulling him away saying, hey buddy, get over it, let's keep playing, he goes back. And he goes back, and he goes back. So much so that the referee's like, fuck this shit. Give him another yellow, put out the red. That's got to be one of the worst discipline examples I've seen the worst examples of discipline, I have seen on the field in a game in a very long time. 84th minute, that red card took place. I think he just came off a suspension, if I remember correctly, or he was one of the players that was like, I think he had just come off a suspension, if I'm not mistaken. So he's getting probably suspended another couple of games, rightfully so. That was a very dumbass decision by Paqueta there. The commentators were absolutely ripping him to shreds off of it, as they should have. They had every right to. It was probably one of the most boneheaded things we can see all season. But I digress. Let's talk about our upcoming brutal schedule. We have Sunderland coming up, which is going to be a very, difficult endeavor, because Sunderland is actually not a bad team. They're actually 2 places above us in the table. We're 8th, thank God, while they are at 6th with 21 points to our, 22 points to our 21. My mistake. But a big win would be happening on Wednesday if we can get them, because that will send us to their position, hopefully above Brighton and just below Aston Villa. So that's going to be a very important game for us to win on Wednesday in Anfield, a place that we have had very little success thus far this season. It's almost like the myth, the mystique of Anfield is slowly but surely being shattered this season, because we have been absolute dog crap. But I can only hope that a team like Sunderland falters a little bit with us, as we hopefully are on the right track to winning ways. I will not sit here and say, oh, this is the turnaround that we need for the season. That would be disgustingly, toxically optimistic. I don't believe in toxic optimism, okay? I know people that are in other parts of fandoms I am a part of that are like, oh yeah, our team's going to be fine, when we're like absolutely terrible. So I'm going to sit here and I'm going to say I want us to win. I do not expect us to win, nor do I expect us to turn it around. As I actually, if I say anything, is it that this next 2 games are a need to win, not just for the club to keep our hopes in the title alive, but it's a need to win for Arne Slot, because Lord knows he's hanging on by a hair, and I mean a very, very thin hair, one that is severely damaged and probably does not get the nutrients it needs, and it needs some sort of shampoo to keep it strong. But even then, it's going to be, it's asking for a lot, you know? So, as a really weird hair analogy, but anyway, after that, we do have Leeds coming up away, which, as I said earlier, we were away here for West Ham. We don't play very well away a lot of the time, and this game was big for us in terms of momentum for away games. I think Leeds is going to be another example of that. Leeds, shockingly enough, because I'm not sure how this even got set up at all, to be honest, as I try to look for the match schedule here, but we're facing Sunderland on Wednesday the 3rd. And then Saturday, not too long after, we're facing Leeds at like an early morning game, which is going to be rough because here's basically 3 big games in a very short period of time. That being West Ham today, which is Sunday, Sunderland on Wednesday, and then Saturday, which will be Leeds. So I hope our guys get rest. I hope we get enough training in, keep everybody as fit as humanly possible. I am very nervous, to be honest with you, for these upcoming games. I do not expect us to win both of them. But if it's any game I hope we win, it's definitely Leeds, because my buddy Paul is a Leeds United fan, and I want to rub it in his face, just like I rubbed my other buddy Liam's face in with the West Ham win today. So it would bring me great joy, if I say so myself. Another thing that brings me great joy. Oh my God, this was the best news I could have asked for all damn weekend. Real Madrid have apparently pulled out of Ibrahimo Konate trying to sign him from us in the transfer window. And it's all I needed to hear, because it's everything that all of us have been saying. You cannot have one really good game against a team that you are essentially trying out for and then play like absolute dog shit the rest of the season after that. Because that's it. The one good game Konate has had, outside of all the other inconsistent ones, was the one against Real Madrid, where I talked about this in reports, and it was reported numerous times that was his tryout game. So, yeah, if that was his tryout game and that's all we're basing it on, Konate passes with flying colors, in my opinion. That said, well, clearly the rest of the season has weighed into that decision, and Madrid have pulled out of trying to sign him. As a matter of fact, they contacted Liverpool directly, saying, hey, you know that guy that's on your team that's going to be leaving at the end of his contract that we wanted to sign and poach away from you like we did the other guy the year before? Yeah, we don't want him no more. You guys can have him. Yeah, we don't want that headache, It's bad enough we got to deal with Trent, It's... God, Jesus. What an absolute shit show that is. And honestly, Konate has absolutely no one to blame but himself for this, because you can't get away with being carried by Virgil van Dijk and our right and left backs and expect to be praised and given a new contract from a different team that has a lot of money, So, and he's even issued he's issued public statements about this too. He admits the team must take this moment on the chest. He accepts the criticism, and he promises the squad will fight back every time amidst a lot of the defensive decline that they have had over the course of the season, which have led to Real Madrid making their decision. As a matter of fact, he put out some tweet on Instagram after today's win against West Ham saying something along the lines of, oh, keep fighting or we're right back in it, or something along those lines. Like, okay, buddy, give me a fucking break, all right? All this talk about you potentially leaving all season, now that the cat's out of the bag that they don't want your ass, now you want to be a part of the team. Now you want to try. Honestly, I hope this gives Konate the fuel to the fire that he desperately needs, because Lord knows his form has been poor all season, and he did not deserve any sort of contract. As a matter of fact, I'll be honest, he doesn't deserve a contract from us after his performance so far this season. We're almost halfway through the season, ladies and gentlemen. Halfway, if we aren't halfway already. And you want my honest opinion? Send his ass. Sell him. Who cares? I love Konate, I do, but I can't sit here and justify keeping him. I can't. Well, there's plenty of other great options out there. Now, where does this leave the problem with Mark Gahey? I have no idea, because I still would prefer that we sign him, but I was also banking on Konate leaving. So maybe he still is leaving, just not with Real Madrid. So That's all I have to say. So that's a little bit of I call it positive news because it's a laugh out loud type news for all of us where I'm just like, ha ha, you suck. But here's some actual positive news, okay? Because this shit still pisses me off to this day that this even happened in the first place. Obviously, when we won the league, we had a championship parade celebration. Vibes were immaculate. I'm so jealous I was not in Liverpool for that parade because every photo, every video I saw was just pure, unadulterated happiness. It's like I died and went to heaven, and that's what heaven looked like, was that parade, okay? Lo and behold, toward the end of the day, some asshole ran over a bunch of people, severely injured them. I don't even... Over 130 people, mind you, were injured in this attack. Somehow, none of them passed away. By the grace of God. If you don't believe in God, that's your prerogative. But as someone that questions religious faith at times, their own religious faith, I should say, I look at instances like this and say 130 people injured, not one of them passed away, not one of them succumbed to injuries. That was some divine intervention. The great and some absolutely phenomenal efforts by EMTs and people that were witnessing it and trying to help in their own right. So that is a situation of a community coming together, which I love ever so much, man. And by the way, the attack victims were ranging in age from 6 months to 77 years. The cocksucker, I will say it, the cocksucker that is responsible for this attack goes by the name of Paul Doyle, okay? And Paul Doyle has officially pleaded guilty to all 31 of the charges against him, including dangerous driving, affray, I don't know what the hell that means, but apparently that's a big thing over there, or that's, I'd have to look that up, but 17 counts of attempting to cause, I guess, something bodily harm with intent, GBH. I guess that means something with bodily harm. 9 counts of causing GBH with intent, and 3 counts of wounding with intent. He initially went to trial, but changed his plea to guilty on day 2 of the proceedings. And honestly, great, because from everything I've been reading about it, and I've been trying to not read about it, trust me, it just makes me so angry, but for the sake of making content, I have been. The police have said that this was not a momentary lapse. It was a choice that Doyle made, turning the celebration into mayhem, and it's sheer luck that nobody was killed. So, the incident lasted around 7 minutes, and with people being struck or trapped under his car, and apparently Doyle's bitch ass sobbed as he entered his guilty pleas, because he's been emotional over it over the course of his pre-trial appearances. He's been crying like a baby in the courtroom, like that's going to get him any sympathy, especially in Liverpool of all places. That guy's guilty regardless of whatever sobbing he was trying to do. Obviously, he's guilty regardless, but no one was going to give him any sympathy. Not a soul was going to give him sympathy. I have yet to see a single person defend that man for his actions online, on any news platform, any interview, anything. And if there is someone defending him, you're a piece of garbage and should be thrown in jail along with the bastard. Okay? So, I'm glad that this is going to be turning into a much shorter trial, and hopefully the sentencing will be severe, and Lord knows I will be here when that day comes, laughing my ass off, because fuck Paul Doyle. Excuse me for all the language over the course of this segment. I have a very, very strong feeling towards this particular situation, so I hope you forgive me. But that's all I have today on Liverpool Latest. I appreciate the fact that you guys are here. Please follow, subscribe, leave a comment down below, leave a like on the video, tell me what you think about everything I've talked about today, and I will see you all on the next one. Up the Reds, and most importantly, you'll never walk alone. Bye-bye now.